Radio Play Comics is meant to adapt the stories, mostly, of great unadapted, old and forgotten comics from the past. I use voice acting and narration to abridge the work as much as possible without lessening its impact, and to bring these stories to life the best way I can. Please enjoy. Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to the Fusion Space for today's episode of Radio Play Comics, Before Watchmen, Silk Spectre. Before Watchmen was a series of prequel comics to the original Watchmen, further developing its characters and revealing a bit more of the world's history, and their own. Nothing here is meant to change or break the canon set by Watchmen, only to fill in some of the many blank spots in ways that feel congruous with the main book. There is no overarching narrative, and the books only tie into each other in small ways, so any can be enjoyed on their own. I'll be adapting them all eventually, spaced out with my other long-running series, and in this order most likely, ordered as they begin chronologically. Minutemen tells the story of the origin of superheroes in this world and the first team who operated in the 1940s, their rise and fall, and the secret dark history behind the happy public face of their story. Ozymandias is a chilling portrait of a villain in the making, and his is a series of heartbreaks given to him by the world, hardening his heart while sharpening his mind. It's a grim road he walks, but he is also undoubtedly the most effective hero of his time. Comedians is another walk into darkness as we see him through the 60s, through Vietnam, and through conflicts at home, while Dr. Manhattan's view is of the universe itself and the largest scale, as he mucks with quantum physics and time. Night Owl shows his origins and the team of himself and Rorschach in action in their early days, while Rorschach's book focuses on his time alone in the 70s, and one brief window of his life, as does Silk Spectre's, but in the 60s and her youth, while Dollar Bill and Moloch both tell their life stories. So you can see there's a wide range of styles of story being told, and in a great variety of ways. Written by Darwyn Cooke along with the artist Amanda Connor, the words and art blend together here to bring the colorful and stylish spirit of the youth movement of the 60s to life. Laurie's tale, and her life, revolve around that of her mother and her superhero career, in more ways than she will discover in this story. Silk Spectre's story begins in her childhood on the night her supposed father, Lawrence Schexnayder, Sally's lawyer from Minutemen, leaves the family for the final time. But we will mostly see her teenage years in the 60s, where she bucks under her mother's stern goad, preparing her for the hero life, and rebels, running away to San Francisco with her first love, Greg, who is running from his own stern father, who is setting him up for military service in Vietnam. There they live in a hippie commune and join the movement, until the parties and drugs get out of hand, thanks to nefarious influences on the scene, wishing to co-opt this large group of young people and turn them from anti-capitalist protesters into good little consumers. In fact, it's the exact same plot as the 2001 classic movie Josie and the Pussycats, with subliminal messages in the music and hypnotizing agents in the drugs. Sally Jupiter's little girl didn't want to follow her mother's example, but there's something she wants even less, and that's to let her new friends get hurt. So, for her own reasons, she puts her lifetime of training to good use, and the debut of the second Silk Spectre can finally be seen. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do, because Darwyn Cooke and Amanda Connor have crafted a heartfelt and exciting coming-of-age story that also fills in parts of the Watchmen world most of the other characters skip over, as Laurie is arguably the most normal one. She at least resents that all of her friends are superheroes and is aware of her abnormality, her identity having always been public. She had no chance of pretending at normalcy like Dan Driver or Adrian Veidt. But of all of them, she is also the only one literally born into the superhero world, the only genetic legacy, and doubly so as the secret daughter of the comedian, who has a guest appearance in Laurie's book, but is not an obvious factor in her life. Which I suppose was Sally's intention in keeping the secret all along, knowing how dangerous Eddie was at every level, despite whatever love she may have had for him as well. Sally, worried about Laurie, sends all the help she can her way, first calling on ex-Night Owl and fellow Minuteman Hollis Mason, which doesn't disrupt canon. It's Sally who says to Hollis,
"All this time you had my number. You wait till we're both in our sunset years to use it?"
So nobody go Baby Leia meeting Obi-Wan on me, okay? Okay. And then sending America's premier war machine, the comedian, to check up on a runaway teenage girl. But despite her life being filled with famous people, Laurie's choices and their results remain her own. This is her story, and if I left her out of the introduction a bit, it's only because her life, her heart, and her will come across so clearly on the page once the story starts. All I really need to do is set the scene and let it play out. So let's do that now then, and let's begin. Young Laurie approaches her mother's shrine to her superhero career.
As a kid, you see your life and you just want it to be perfect, like it is in the picture books and fairy tales. And older people, they encourage this.
She picks up a snow globe containing a castle.
They hide things from children, try to protect them from the truth, keep them in a pretty bubble where none of the ugliness can reach.
Laurie imagines a king and queen inside, and a princess.
But kids are smarter than we think.
The snow begins to fall.
They may not comprehend the words, but they can hear the way they're delivered. They try to hold on to the illusion, but it's hard to ignore all the hatred and yelling.
Suddenly the king figure is removed.
Especially when it is turned toward them. Laurel Jane?
Snow buries the castle.
Laurel Jane?
The globe slips from Laurie's hands and breaks on the floor. Sally sweeps the glass into a dustpan.
Is he gone again? Yes, baby, he's gone again. But this time, well, come sit with me, Laurie. He's not coming back, is he? Laurie, honey, your father... Don't say that! He's not my father! Please, don't start that again, Laurie. He was my husband, and he is your father. I hate him. Oh, sweetie, you're too young to hate. Wait until you're older, and the world gives you a good reason. Trust me, it won't let you down. Mom, are you gonna be all right?
Tears well up in Sally's eyes as she tries to keep a brave face on. But they spill down her cheeks when Laurie hugs her.
We'll be okay, Mom.
They cling to each other among the pieces of their world, now shattered like the snow globe which lies on the floor before them. 1966. The sun shines brightly in a clear blue sky, when suddenly a girl flips through it. As Laurie Jupiter pole vaults feet first over a high bar with perfect form, before her impressed coach and classmate Greg.
Beautiful.
And a less approving Betsy.
Yes, well, Lassie's considered beautiful too, and at least she's a purebred.
She lands on a pile of gym mats.
Amazing! Boss jump, Laura. Thanks.
So now I know why your name's Jupiter. I figured it out watching you jump.
Oh, yeah? Why don't you let me in on it then?
'Cause you really take off and fly like outer space up there. Laurie is struck by a vision of herself in Greg's arms wearing a wedding dress being carried out of a chapel. Hey, Earth is Space Girl. Come in, Space Girl. Greg snaps his fingers before her dazed eyes as Betsy storms off.
Sorry, I was getting a signal from the home planet.
Haha, that explains why I never see you out. I'm too busy serving your Martian overlords.
They do keep me busy.
How about tonight? Will they be keeping you busy tonight?
Tonight?
Oh, is that the head Martian?
Shh, that's my mom, dipstick. You better not let her hear you say that. Look, I've gotta go.
Hey, what about tonight? Meet me here by the track at 9.
I can't. I'll see you tomorrow.
Laurie gets in the car with Sally. Who is that?
What? Oh, my friend Greg. He's quite a looker. It's a shame all your training and studies aren't going to leave you much time for him. However, if you want, I'd be more than happy to stand in for you.
Laurie sees herself being driven down the road to hell by her mother in a demonic form. At home, Laurie tries on her mother's costume in the mirror. Imagining herself older.
Ooh.
She sighs in frustration and throws a robe on over it. Going downstairs to watch TV. From our sponsor.
A man, but when there's no man around.
One of her biggest hits to date.
Sunshine, lollipops, and...
While Laurie reads a magazine, a figure sneaks up behind her in the dark. The masked intruder wraps an arm around Laurie's neck and pulls her back over the couch as she kicks the table over. Laurie drives her elbow into her attacker's stomach, breaking the grip. She dashes to the kitchen counter and hurls a fruit bowl, which shatters against the charging figure. Laurie grabs a vase, but she is tackled over the counter and hit in the chin with a palm strike. Grabbing her robe, the intruder slams her to the floor. Laurie locks her fists together and clobbers the larger figure, rolling into a roundhouse kick to the face. Laurie pounces, going for the throat.
Stop! Stop it!
While Sally pulls off her ski mask. Be right back.
What the hell was that? It's what you wanted, isn't it? For years you've been drilling it into me that I have to be better than you. So there you go. Happy now? No, I'm not happy. You're mouthy, and your mind is everywhere but here. I am so sick of all this persecution. You control my whole life. I don't get to go out. I don't get to do anything I want. All I do is train and study and work so I can carry on your name. Oh, excuse me. I mean your fake name. Maybe everybody will dish and say all sorts of vulgar things about me, too.
Sally gives her daughter a wounded look.
Oh, so easy for you to judge, isn't it? What the hell do you know about it? If you had to face just half of what I did at your age, you... Laurie, your face, baby. You got a cut there. It's nothing.
Taste worth fighting
Never
for.
mind nothing. It isn't very deep, but you never know.
Coffee is criminal.
I remember getting scratched once when I was tangling with the Fey blade, and that damn thing got infected and swelled up something awful. It looked like...
Mom, please, cool it. Kill the petunias.
Never mind with your cool it. Let's get some disinfectant on that.
Sally leads Laurie upstairs.
God, Mom, stop fussing.
A man, but when there's no man around.
I'm not made of glass, you know.
Never bitter, never weak. Later, Sally phones her old friend and fellow Minuteman, Hollis Mason, while examining her bruises in the mirror.
But Hollis, I just worry about her so much. She's never been a backtalker before, but lately... I know she's at that age, but I've given her everything. What could she possibly have to complain about? No, she needs to study and train. If she needs a friend, she can come talk to me. No, but for a while now, she just always seems to want to be somewhere else. I don't want her lack of focus to, cause her to hurt herself. But I don't want her to wind up like I did when I was her age. Yes, I know, I've taught her to take good care of herself and given her plenty of guidance. Well, thank you, but right now I certainly don't feel like a good mother. Aw, you're sweet, Hollis. Okay, I will. You take good care of yourself. Okay, bye. Laurie, honey?
Sally opens the door to find Laurie's room empty.
Laurie?
A calm night has fallen over the school. As the leaves rustle, Greg races around the track, alone. Suddenly, Laurie runs past him, like the wind. Huh? She throws her arms in the air in triumph.
Yes! Sweet victory for Jackrabbit Jupiter!
Don't rub it in.
Told you I was faster.
I've been humbled, m'lady.
Don't worry. I'll never tell anyone you got licked by a girl.
Greg pulls a beer and a cigarette from his pockets. Stole these from the old man. He'd break my skull if he found out.
Your dad is kind of a hard ass, isn't he?
You can't help it. He's a retired Marine, trained to be a hard ass.
Sounds like my mom.
Your mom's a retired Marine?
No, doofus. A hard ass.
I'd take a plain old hard ass over a Marine any day. Smoke?
Sure. So you two don't get along?
Not really, but he has a solution for that. When I turn 18, he says he's marching me down to the recruiter's office. Says the Marines will make a man of me.
The Marines? But that means you'd be...
Uh-huh. They'll send me to Indochina, or Vietnam. I think, one of those. The old man says it'll be good for me. He punctures the beer with a can opener, and it sprays him in the face. I'm all wet. My dad'll clock me if I come home smelling like beer.
Yeah, well, you better dry up before you go back.
If I'm old enough to die for my country, I can at least have a brew every once in a while, eh?
Wow. Vietnam. We should run away. Far, far away.
Greg takes off his jacket and shirt. Yeah, far away to a strange land. I'll be your noble protector, m'lady.
Holy smokes. Where did you get all those bruises?
My dad trains me in the boxing ring. He wants to be sure I'm tough enough to handle anything. I'll tell you, though, you really packed a wallop.
I told you, just like my mom.
Your mom wants you to be a Marine?
No, silly. She trains me. She watches too much news and she's freaked out by rapists and killers.
Laurie slips her jacket down over her arm. Like that stocking strangler guy and stuff?
Yeah, so she trains me to be able to defend myself. See? We have matching bruises.
Greg leans down and kisses the bruise on her shoulder. And Laurie is sent over the moon with joy. Laurie and Greg head into town where the queen bee, Betsy, is currently holding court at a popular malt shop.
Sorry, running out of PE, bawling like a baby. Well, yes, because I told her that she and her questionable legion should stay away from school so she doesn't contaminate the rest of us. God, Betsy, it just zits. Really? Are you a doctor? Uh-oh, look who just walked in.
She sounds like a Virginia Mayo that can beat you up. Hey, Ellie.
Hey, handsome. The usual?
Make it two. I almost can't wait to meet her.
Oh, I don't know about that.
How come?
Well, my mom just kind of...
They sit in a booth by the tableside jukebox selector.
Hey, this is a pretty cool place.
That's right, you've never been here before. Other than school, you're pretty scarce.
I know, my mom is putting me on the endangered species list. Watch and learn, ladies.
The waitress brings them 2 floats. She keeps a tight leash on you?
It's a choker, and boy, is it ever doing its job. She has this idea of who I'm supposed to be, and it's like I don't get any say.
Exactly. It's like we're their property or something. Like a predator stalking from the trees, Betsy approaches them.
Yeah, what's their problem anyway? They always think they know what's right for us.
Oh, hey, Bets. What's up?
Well, Greg, I suppose I was hoping you could tell me. I mean, I thought that we all had certain standards, and yet here you are with her.
Hey, take it easy, Betsy.
What did you just say? I'm sorry. I assumed that because I see you slinking around the hall at school that you understand English. Let me simplify it for you. Maybe you'd better. I'm saying we're careful about who we let in here, and we're quick to throw out the trash.
That's it. Take a hike, Bets.
Oh, come on, Greg. Her mother is a common tramp. Go on, Laurie. Tell us all about your mother. You know, she used to dress up like a slut and fight crime, right? I mean, can you imagine?
Laurie imagines falling into a bottomless hole in the desert amidst billboards of her mother reading, "Dally with Miss Sally. See Savage Sally. Hit the jackpot with Jumpin' Jackknife Jupiter."
Of course, that was before the attention dried up. After that, she moved on to modeling and a brief stint in the film industry. Tell us, Laurie, what was the name of that movie your mother made?
The adults share looks of chagrin.
Oh, I almost forgot. A long time ago, me and Dawn were going through her dad's drawer to get some change for the candy shop.
Betsy scoops some cream from Laurie's float.
We found this little book with these rude pictures of her in compromising positions with strange men.
Betsy!
Frankly, I don't see the family resemblance.
And flicks it onto her face.
Oh, wait. Now I see it.
Laurie scowls as she wipes it off. Back at home, Sally has been listening to Frank Sinatra records, drinking, and crying her mascara out, worried sick about her daughter. I've got the blues, I feel so lonely, I'd give the world if I could only make you understand. It truly would be grand. I'm gonna tell. The door opens and Laurie storms upstairs to her room. My baby.
Look,
Cause
now just a
when
minute,
you're
young lady.
gone,
Wait. Laurel Jane, you come
I
back out here this
will
instant.
all day long, baby.
What has gotten
won't you
into you?
please come home?
What do you care? What have you ever cared about except yourself?
She pulls a suitcase from under her bed and begins angrily packing clothes into it.
Stop talking nonsense. What do you think you're doing? I'm leaving, Mother. I'm getting as far away from you as I can. Laurie, please, you're scaring me. Scaring you? Scaring you? Do you hear yourself? All you care about is you. All you've ever done is push me to be some kind of imitation of you. You've never cared what I wanted. You never even asked. Please, Laurie, calm down and talk to me. You don't know what it's really like out there.
Laurie gives her bird a worried look.
What it's like to be alone in the world. Oh yeah, poor you again. Laurie, goodbye, Mother.
Sally grabs her arm.
I hate you. Do you understand? They all know.
'Cause
All the
your
kids
mama
know what you
was
were.
all alone.
They laugh at me because I'm your daughter.
But Laurie yanks it away and heads down the stairs. No more to call your
You
name.
make me ashamed.
You broke my heart. Every hour of the day, you will hear me say, baby, won't you please come home? Laurie?
Oh, what do you want? Come for one last laugh?
Come on, Laurie. I wouldn't do that. I wanted to make sure you're all right. After, the punching, you ran out of there pretty fast. Greg recalls Laurie giving Betsy a haymaker punch.
No. Well, you could take your pity party somewhere else.
Hey, I wouldn't pity you for a second. That's a killer left you've got. My dad would be really impressed. And after tonight, Betsy Kensington will probably never bother you again. And Betsy lying unconscious on the floor. Look, I already know about your mom. At dinner tonight, I told my folks about you, and I kinda dig you. They looked at me as if I'd socked them in the jaw. Well, they couldn't wait to fill me in. After that, the old man took me aside and showed me this. He takes out a small yellow pamphlet. It's probably what Betsy was blabbing on about.
Let me see that.
No. Laurie grabs for it, but Greg throws it in the sewer. It doesn't matter. I don't care about this book. I don't care about what my folks think. I don't care what Betsy Kensington flaps her gums about. I just care about you. I love you, Laurie. He takes her by the arms, looks deep into her eyes, and kisses her in the moonlight. The rising sun sees the young couple in the same embrace. What?
I just keep seeing you sneaking out of your bedroom window. I thought you were going to break your leg.
Hey, Giggles, if I'd woken up the old man, he would have broken both legs. Okay, laugh it up. That thorn bush really did me in. I look like I had it out with an alley cat. My shorts are still... Hey, here comes a car. A tie-dye colored van approaches as they put their thumbs out.
Wow.
A young woman opens the side door, emblazoned with a shining castle. Hi, can we catch a ride? That depends, dude.
Like, what's your destination? We're not sure. Perfect. Jump in.
I don't know how to get to We're Not Sure, but they get in. We can take you as far as San Francisco. Mean goodbye. With this ending quote is a picture of Laurie's innocence and youth in full flower. Please don't walk away, pretty baby, with that look in your eyes. Don't say goodnight and mean goodbye. Charles Partee and Joe DeAngelis. Continued. A bead of sweat rolls down Silk Spectre's cheek as she hides behind a post.
Dear Uncle Hollis, I know you and Mom must be real worried about me. I'm writing this to you because I want you guys to know I'm okay.
On the other side are a gang of armed thugs themed with playing card suits.
Please let Mom know that I'm in a safe place.
She peeks around the corner
I really don't want her to come looking for me.
and pulls back, narrowly dodging a thrown knife.
I don't need to be found.
Laurie notices a paint can at her feet.
I just need some time to figure things out.
The can smashes the knife thrower Spades in the nose, drawing a spray of blood.
Mom taught me so much about handling the stuff life throws at me.
Silk Spectre dashes past the others.
She gave me everything. I lived in a huge house with my own room and had more than most kids I know.
But Clubs catches her with a chain around her neck and pulls her down.
But I felt totally chained down. I want her to stop treating me like...
Quite a little princess, aren't you? They all loom menacingly over her, hearts with a syringe. Awful pig-headed for a princess.
Yeah, I don't think Mommy spanked you nearly enough.
Laurie scowls at the mention of her mother and grabs Hearts by the balls, crushing them.
Yeah!
She flips backwards, kicking Diamonds in the face.
You're my Uncle Hollis. You've known me since I was a baby.
Clubs grips her ankle
I'm not doing this for kicks or to hurt Mom.
and draws back his machete.
I know she went through the same thing when she was my age.
Reaching up, Silk Spectre finds a pipe and whacks him in the kneecap.
Life can be really hard on your own.
He drops her left leg and she kicks him in the groin with her right.
And yes, people can be really mean.
Spades rises as Laurie does.
But I'm a big girl, and I can kick you all night if you want.
He drops his blade as her foot makes contact with his chin.
Or maybe I'll just turn your eye into a lollipop.
Spectre pins his neck with her shoe and jabs the jagged pipe into his face.
Please. Get free. There. How's that? You're nearly on my balls. I can kneel harder. Why do you want to kill that guy? Our boss wants him gone. Who's your boss? No. Do you feel that? Okay. Guru Stein. His name's Guru Stein. He runs the Santos nightclub.
Laurie uses his blade to cut their captive free from the post he's tied to.
Hang on. You're all right now.
Thank you. Oh, God. Thank you.
We have to get you to a hospital.
No. I'm fine. Please. No doctors. No pigs.
She helps him walk outside and watches him leave.
But enough with the gloom and doom. I'd rather tell you more about all the great things in my new life. I don't really know what your parents were like, so I'm not sure if you can understand how I feel. To be free to think for myself and make my own choices. I just want to drink it all in. I want to do everything.
Silk Spectre runs and jumps across the rooftops of San Francisco, seeing herself as a popular comic book heroine.
For the first time ever, my life is an adventure.
Getting into the world.
So where to start? I have a boyfriend named Greg, and before you think the worst, he's my age and he's from my neighborhood. I guess you could say we're in this together.
Flashing back, Laurie recalls their new friends in their rainbow-colored van.
Our best friends are Chappie and Gigi and Eagle. They're a little older than us, which is cool. We're learning a lot from them.
Greg and Laurie try grass with them.
Huh? And they're just so much fun to be around.
Laughing in a riot.
Please let Mom know I'm staying healthy.
And devouring some chicken after.
And I'm not sleeping in a ditch somewhere.
They all sleep curled up in the van.
Chappie is an artist and Gigi is a fashion designer. They offered to let Greg and me share their home with them. We all pitched in to fix up the place.
Gigi and Laurie paint the apartment walls.
I love this color. It'll help our cheese stay harmonized. Chappie's setting up a silkscreen studio to make posters and t-shirts. He says it's the future of the people's art, whatever that means.
Music and art. History's greatest lovers.
About Greg, Uncle Hollis. Please don't tell Mom we're living together. She would lose her mind. And don't you worry either. I love him like crazy.
The young couple sit on a hill with a scenic view of the Golden Gate Bridge.
I love you too, Laurie.
Please tell Mom he's not a rapist. All of our friends are great people. We really take care of each other and those around us.
Laurie entices a scraggly, three-legged stray cat with a plate of food.
Oh, yeah, kitty, kitty. Oh. It's like we all walked out in the lives we'd been told to live, and we're making up our own way.
More friends join them for a small party.
Of course, it's not all just fun and games.
Laurie and Greg's mattress lacks box springs or even a sheet, but if they've noticed anything missing, they don't seem to mind.
Chappie has Greg working with him in exchange for rent and stuff.
Greg hangs pictures.
Check it out, man. Let me show you how to pull a screen on fabric.
I'm way more grown up than Mom thinks I am.
And Laurie answers a help wanted sign at a cafe.
I even got a job. The people here don't have much.
In lieu of a tip, some young troubadour has left Laurie 2 happy face buttons, a flower, and composed this missive.
You might think me a bore, for this pitiful do soar. With riches you I'd shower, though I've naught but smiles and a flower. And please accept this ditty, 'cause I think you're so pretty.
But they are cultured and artistic in their own ways.
She rolls her eyes with amusement,
Hmm.
puts on a button, and wears the flower in her hair. A bit late, as she's already arrived in San Francisco. Well, that's a joke for you older folks out there.
The other day I overheard some guys talking, and it got me thinking.
So 2 a.m. this Thursday at the Mariposa.
We're gonna sell to this jerk? I might take a small night job doing my part for the community.
Don't be a goof. You know independents are a no-go. We take his money and then make an example out of him. The boss wants a big mess. His exact words were, make it bloody and make it public. Groovy.
You know, helping the less fortunate and stuff.
The group Laurie is listening to turn out to be the playing card gang.
Anyway, I have to take off. There's a community event on Thursday, and I want to go check the place out to see if I can lend a hand.
Laurie checks out the empty building before the meeting.
I'll write again soon. Tell Mom I'm safe and I love her. Your loving niece, Laurel Jane.
She comes home to find Chappie and Gigi sitting on the porch.
Hi, kiddo. You're up bright and early. Hi, guys. Hey, can I ask you something? I mean, something really serious?
Sure, Laura.
I know we're all about nonviolence and love, right? But if you knew that something bad was going to happen to someone, unless you did something, you know, something violent, should you do it?
Of course. All great societal changes come at the hands of rebels who stood up to fight injustice.
Right on.
We should avoid violent solutions if we can, but not at the cost of freedom or dignity. Back in a sec. Gotta hit the head.
He's so right. Gee, can you help me with something? I wouldn't ask, but it's kind of important. Anything, Laurie? Do you think you could make this?
She hands Gigi a drawing of her superhero costume.
I need it for Thursday night. And please don't tell Chappie, but especially don't tell Greg.
Stiletto heels and an S belt buckle complete the look on a slightly bruised silk Spectre as she returns from her first superhero outing.
I don't know, Laurie. I don't want to be dishonest with either of them. Please, Gigi, just for a little while. This whole thing could be nothing, and I don't want him to worry.
She slips in the second-floor window and hides her costume in a bag while Greg sleeps next to an issue of Bridget the Buccaneer. Recall that since heroes were big in real life, it was pirate stories that dominated comic books in this world. Laurie drives this point home, yelling as she pounces on her boyfriend and kisses him.
Avast, matey! Prepare to be boarded!
Oh, The next day, Greg and Laurie go for food and give a flyer for a party later on to someone looking for a missing friend.
Come on, we can't save the world on an empty stomach.
Oh, hey, don't forget the party. Cool, see you there.
Me and Chappie sold 19 posters and 12 t-shirts at the Dead Dogs gig last night. Breakfast is on me, Space Girl.
Laurie notices a fancy car pull up to Guru Stein's club, the Sandos.
Yeah, okay.
A man dressed like the chairman of the board gets out and heads inside, where the Beatles are waiting. San Fran fucking Cisco. Tony B can have this cesspool. Come on, boys. It's come to Jesus time.
These knobs fly us all the way out for one bloody meeting, and now we've been sitting here for over 2 hours.
We've been faffing around for what? My bullocks are getting numb. The lights go out. Ring-a-ding-ding, dipshits.
The lights come up on a stage where the suited man sits between two go-go girls. First, let me welcome you all to San Francisco. If you're here, you already know we've got a big problem on our hands. It's all this peace and love shit. Love your neighbor. Make love, not war. You've told these kids over and over not to care about material things. It's a great angle, but you made it swing too big, capiche? We thought rock and roll was going to be trouble, but this folky, hippie shit you guys are peddling? I mean, come on. At least Elvis and all those clowns talk about Cadillacs and motorcycles and fancy clothes. All these kids need to enjoy the lifestyle you're pushing is a radio and a dirty poncho. Christ almighty, they don't even wear shoes. Sandals? I mean, what the fuck is that? The only man who can wear sandals and pull it off is Chuck Heston. Am I right?
The girl set up a projection screen.
Shh. I've had top men going over the figures for the last 9 months, and there's no disputing them. Make with the charts, Poindexter.
Yes, sir.
The screen shows a red line going down.
Album sales down 35%, singles 28%. Never mind all the clothing and lunchboxes and other crap we've got our hands in. The real tearjerker is there's no sign of this leveling off. As chairman, it's my responsibility to reverse this trend by whatever means necessary. To that end, let me introduce the man with the answer to our problems, Mr. Owlsley.
Who's that cat? He's Kesey's pal. Remember that acid we dropped last week? Owlsy made it in his living room.
Hello. And music notes going into a head with a happy face.
The problem is simple. Your music is giving young people a rational and compelling social reason to resist the impulse to consume. The solution is equally simple. Make their impulses strong enough to overwhelm rational thought.
The potion becomes a shining sun.
We've developed a liquid pharmaceutical that achieves that goal. By blending the liquid into LSD, we create an environment where the hallucinogen augments the liquid and makes the user susceptible to suggestion. I call it Kesey Test 5, or KT5 for short. Our initial test phase has proved quite successful. This next slide shows words and phrases you're all familiar with.
The words love, peace, together, baby, revolution, and groovy all go into a head.
On KT5, the subject will hear these words and feel the positive associations they bring.
And money signs come out of it.
But on a deeper level, these messages are translated into the subconscious as a call to buy, to consume.
Look here, mate. You're on that boy's in the Queen's English. He's saying the acid'll make him want to buy records.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's saying. We're ready to implement this nationwide, but we need a proper test. That means getting this shit into the hands of a large group of kids, all at once.
Because of its unique position as the hub of a new musical revolution, San Francisco is where we'll test the drug.
Oh, cool. Cool me ass. I don't like this one bit. It's a little late for that line of thinking, you Carnaby Street swish. If you're out, you're all the way out.
This is bullshit.
Tulsa.
Dr. Guru's sign emerges from backstage.
The labels, the studios, the event promoters are all in. The fix is in with the cops. If you're out, you won't be able to get a gig singing at a kid's birthday party. You dig me?
They dig, baby, or they wouldn't be here. Be cool, my buttery balladeer. It is unnecessary to employ scare tactics. Hear me, cats and kittens. Do not fear this development. It is a transformative way to cultivate a symbiosis with those who crave more of what we have to offer. And it provides us with the sustenance we need to continually bestow upon the world our vital messages.
Hey, Blossom Top, what if we don't want a symbiotic relationship with our fans? I mean, kinda sounds like mind control to me.
Ah, Red, is it any worse than the lightning you gave to the two lovely 14-year-old newbars last night? Did it not make them all the more welcoming to you and your libidinous offerings? But instead of 3 becoming 1, it could be hundreds, thousands. This wonderful panacea. Think of it as a new approach to being of a single mind with your devotees. A new way to leave them hungering for more.
Meanwhile, Greg and Laurie had finished their meal.
I'm stuffed. That was yummy.
I don't know. I still think it kind of tastes like dirt. Don't you think sprouts look like pinworms?
Ooh, yuck.
A young man enters Laurie's cafe in a daze.
Do you want to head back to the
Yeah,
coffee.
Hey, Wilby.
Huh?
Wilby.
Huh?
Fatima's been looking all over for you.
Had a 14 coffee and a 9 carat brownie.
He collapses at the counter and begins to spasm.
What's with all those buttons? Wilby! Oh God, Will, what's wrong?
I don't know. Hold him down. Greg and Laurie try to hold him down.
Ow, careful of the buttons.
Buttons, watch out for his... You got him?
Yeah, call an ambulance.
Laurie waits for news at the hospital and is soon joined by their other friends. She tells them the young man will be fine, but they are unconcerned as they can't wait to tell her about all the fantastic products they've purchased. They tell her they were at the Sandos last night before shuffling off to see their recovering friend.
Hey, where's Greg? Back at the house. He'll see you there. Good, 'cause I'm gonna go.
Laurie storms out of the hospital. And Silk Spectre storms into the Sandos.
Looking for Guru Stein. Hey, we ain't open till 9. No, I just need to talk to him. He probably doesn't know it, but he's sitting on a bad batch of party favors. He's not in tonight, and he doesn't like strangers getting involved in his liquid assets. You don't understand. There's something in it that's what? Making pretty little girls do big, stupid things? Hey! Like a little chick wandering into a fox's den. Let your old foxes do to tasty little chickies.
The Go-Go Girls grab Spectre and punch her.
Ah! Oh!
Laurie kicks one off her and flips the one behind her onto the floor.
Oh! Ah! Fuck it, bitch!
She bends the redhead's arm backwards.
Ah! Quit squirming, you cow!
She struggles to her feet
I said knock it off!
as the other one tackles Silk Spectre's legs.
Nice try, skank!
Her boot comes off as they end up piled on the floor, and Laurie gets them both in choking headlocks with her arms and legs.
Crazy! Bam! Now tell me where Guru Stein is! I don't know! He's in a private event, and he didn't say! Bitch! Oh!
The redhead pulls Laurie's hair.
Ow! I'll pop your heads off like a couple of Barbie dolls! That drug really fucked up my friend! Does Guru Stein know about that? Who else knows? The chairman! I hope you find him! He's gonna crush you, Ladybug! Yeah. Just tell them both that Silk Spectre is looking for him.
After replacing her boot, Laurie makes her exit, leaving the girls gasping on the floor. She greets her cat as she enters her bedroom.
Oh? Hey, Pigpen. Just caught 2 rats. How'd you do today?
Laurie sees herself as Catwoman greeting a majestic jungle beast.
You know what, little guy? I've just come to a horrible realization. My mom would be really proud of me right now.
She changes and heads downstairs to find the party in full swing.
Seriously.
Yeah, Jim's got the best of both worlds. Music is supposed to sound good, not look good.
She picks up a joint as she crosses the floor.
They've been banned from touring in America. But why? The chairman.
Well, I just hope I'm long dead by the time the studios start picking looks over talent.
Lord! How's Will? Okay, but he's really gotta sleep it off tonight. I almost lost one of your boots. Look, if you're gonna keep this up, we gotta get you some righteous gear. Speaking of, when are you gonna tell Craig about this whole Noble Knight of the Inebriated thing?
Hey, Space Girl, where you been?
On the planet Venus.
Ooh, is that the one with all the foxy chicks?
Yeah, but they're kinda mean, so I didn't bring any back for you.
Hey, this is one crazy bash. I gotta toast Chaps and Gigi for being the best friends in the whole wide world.
Aw, we love you too.
Guru Stein speaks to the crowd through a microphone. Cats and kittens, welcome to Chappie and Gigi's Savage Soiree. If you are not spellbound by the spirits, prepare to be auditorially ensorcelled by Red Death and the Horseman.
When you come home in a tram, hear your ooh-ah, hear your rhyme. When you do the thing you should do, peekaboo, I'm watching you. When you wanna be in school, learn about the golden rule.
Wow, that guy is such a trip. Who is he?
Yeah, he's way out, huh? Peekaboo. I'm watching you.
That's Guru style.
Look in the dark. You see my face.
After taking a large drink, Laurie notices green liquid swirling in her cup. I was rapping with him for like a half an hour. He was telling me some really heavy shit. Here, come on over. You gotta meet that guy.
Don't try to hide behind your legs.
Hey, Guru Stein, here's my lady I was telling you about. Guru Stein kisses Laurie's hand.
Greetings, child. Young Greg's fervent declarations do not do justice to your true love day. I trust you found the potation most pleasing. I'm gonna give you my tree.
As they listen to the band, the hypnotic agents and the drugs and the music begin to have their intended effect.
I can see you in your big bed. Why don't you play with me instead?
The world begins to go trippy as her vision melts and blurs.
Hey, space girl, one with one, it's better with two.
You're looking a little freaked there.
Peekaboo.
Don't worry, I'm right here watching. I'll take good care of you. Laurie sees Greg's eyes, the last thing to disappear in a sea of white light. With this ending quote, the image representing the flower of Laurie's innocence has lost a few petals. It isn't by getting out of the world that we become enlightened, but by getting into the world. Ken Kesey. Laurie sees pretty sparkling lights that turn into flowers by candle flames.
This is not so bad. I was scared shitless just a few minutes ago, but this is kinda nice.
Greg kisses her cheek.
Oh, God, just look at him.
Greg's colors shift from second to second.
When
He just gets prettier
you were at the hospital
every time
for like 1,000 hours,
I look at him.
I was starting to miss you, and I was getting so blue, and I wanted you to meet.
Oh, no! Guru Stein! Oh, what am I whining about? I could pound anyone at this shindig if I wasn't tripping so hard. Am I the only one who knows what an evil asshole Guru Stein is? Chappie doesn't know. Look at him, having such a blast. Get out of there, chaps. They have no idea. Run, Gigi, run!
The good doctor laughs along with Gigi and Chappie.
What the hell? They're having such a good time. Why are they having such a good time? Do they know something I don't know? Maybe Guru Stein isn't such a bad guy. He is always laughing, and he is very charming.
Laurie's vision of Guru Stein features suns for eyes, smiling snakes on his beard and staff, daisy chains instead of gold, and the staff's crystal has become a heart.
Not as charming as Greg, though. Maybe I'm overreacting. Look at him. Everybody likes him. Maybe he's not as evil as I think he is. Maybe it's that chairman guy. Who the hell is this chairman guy? The only chairman I've ever heard of is that square cat with the gooey romantic songs that my mom likes so much.
And though I know it's strictly taboo.
Laurie is correct. The chairman is obviously patterning himself after Frank Sinatra, a popular icon of the era of conformity her mother lived in, which is everything these youths are here to escape from.
Square cat. Whoa, what? Oh, Pigpen? You're no square.
Laurie strokes her cat's head.
Oh, actually, you're a bit triangular. Like really triangular.
Pigpen smiles as she rubs its chin.
Oh. And your body is a fuzzy little tripod. Tripod. How do you hunt with only 3 legs? Do you even try, my little pea pod?
Aw, I do all right.
Wow. talking animal. I feel like a fairy tale princess. What do you catch?
You know, bugs, mice, birds. Laurie sees the prey animals as the cat mentions them, and feels like a princess with a jeweled crown.
Oh, cool. I have a bird named Lamb. Oh my God, you wouldn't try to eat lamb, would you?
I don't know. Is he nice and fat and juicy?
Nah, he's pretty and he's blue.
Sounds tasty.
Aw, go on. It's not like I don't give you enough food. Oh no, enough food? Is my mom giving Lamb enough food? What are these all feathers and bones?
A paw made of fear snakes around and yanks her crown off as a skeletal bird addresses her.
Yeah, thanks a lot for leaving me with that fucking heartbeat.
Lamb's skeleton perches on her finger.
Look at me. I'm all bony and starving.
Lambie, I'm really sorry.
Sorry doesn't disperse the birdseed, you twat.
Wait, isn't Uncle Hollis gonna visit? He won't let you starve.
You mean the pretend dad that you see every few years?
Oh, don't start with the dad shit.
What, you don't miss Larry?
She sees her father figure as disapproving of her,
I'll bet you still think that big hooded goon was your dad.
and hooded justice as fearsome.
Hell, there could be 20, 50, maybe 100 assholes that are your dad.
Laurie sees her mother Sally surrounded by comedically lecherous men, the other Minutemen among them, and even Frank Sinatra and Harpo Marx.
Stop it! Shut up, you bony little twerp!
Greg leans his head on her shoulder. Who are you talking to?
Look it, I'm not trying to bust on you. I'm just trying to make you think. See that guy over there? He can really open up your mind.
The bird skeleton points to a man in a cap with a gold star, and Laurie approaches him.
Hey, Lamb said to open up my mind?
Who's Lamb? You Lamb? You own a lamb.
Oh, wow. How did you know?
Well, listen up, Anna. It's the acid. My mind can process data more quickly than normal. Not as fast as that blue cat in the news, but fast. She sees a clock spinning by his head.
Who?
You know, that blue cat. Laurie sees Greg and Pigpen in blue. You see, it takes a fraction of a second for your mind to process what has happened in real life. So you're not actually living in the moment. And a brain losing the race against time. You gotta work on narrowing the lag between reality and your brain reacting to it. The Starman pushes them together. Once you nail that, you can really live in reality. You know? In the now. The brain and body fit together in a harmonious triangle. Heck, you might even be able to see all facets of reality and time at once. Laurie sees her whole life in pieces, all shifting towards blue.
What?
See, Anna, wouldn't it be cool to simultaneously see where you've been, where you're at, and where you're going?
I don't know. I'm not so crazy about where I was back in L.A. Here, right now, I can take care of the things I love and be taken care of. Here, I'm surrounded by beautiful people.
Laurie sees Gigi and Chappie petting Pigpen and Greg spacing out.
And I love the excitement of not knowing where I'm going.
She sees herself gleefully throwing off the shackles of her mother's expectations in the form of her old silk Spectre costume.
I really like it where I am. Now, here, in San Francisco.
Well then, Anna Lamb, you passed one of the great tests of life. Being happy right where you are. Laurie feels smart and accomplished inside the harmonious triangle. And where you're at is in San Francisco, baby. The best part of the trip is the trip. But your work is not done. I want you to live like the world's gonna end. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe in 6 months. Maybe in 19 years. You need to get out of life as others have laid it out for you. Where you can leave that life and get into your mind. Where you can get your mind deep into right now. The calming Starman begins to morph into Sally in her costume, angrily yelling. Where right now...
Get back to reality. Where the hell is she?
Back in her old home, Laurie's vision isn't too far off as the real Sally yells into a phone.
Hollis, you're telling me you know she's okay, but you don't know where she is?
No illusion. Letta said she was fine. Sal, if you don't give her any elbow room, she's gonna stay away.
So why the hell is she writing to you? I'm her goddamn mother!
Look, Sal, I don't know, but if we start hunting her down, she'll pull away for good. Let her see how tough it is out there on her own. I guarantee she'll be back soon.
Oh, really, Hollis? That's your big solution? Huh. Well, since you're not man enough to get up your ass and find her, I'm calling someone who is.
Sal, Jesus, Sally, don't.
Forget it, Hall. You had your chance. It's done and done. Goodbye.
She slams the phone down.
Sal? Sally? Okay. Bye.
Hollis dials another number on his rotary phone.
Hello, Danny? Listen, I have a family thing that's come up. Can you watch Phantom for a few days?
Thanks, Danny. Much appreciated.
Bye, kid.
And looks up an airline in the phone book. Laurie enters her room as morning light streams through the window and lies down in bed with Greg.
Hey, what's the story, Morning Glory? Baby, you okay? Hey, wake up! Greg, baby, wake up!
His face is purple and his eyes are red, and green liquid streams from his mouth. Soon Laurie lies on his bed at the hospital.
Baby, I gotta tell you something. It's something that I kind of hid from you. I feel so bad for that. To see you here like this, and to know that I didn't share everything with you. God, I feel so horrible. Please don't hate me. You see, baby, I was so sure that I wanted a life of my own. I didn't stop to think that maybe there's a part of me I can't run away from. My mom, I know she's a bitch, but whatever she did, she put some kind of spark in me that I didn't know I had. I can avoid the bad things in this shitty world, but when they're in front of me, when somebody's going to get hurt, I just can't sit by. I've been out at night as Silk Spectre. I knew Guru Sign was bad news, but I screwed up. This is all my fault. I should have told you from the start. Maybe we could have been a team or something. We could have looked out for each other. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry.
I can be your sidekick.
Oh, baby, you are my sidekick. You always will be. But for now, just shh. Just rest.
Laurie envisions herself as an elven princess, faithfully waiting by a handsome man on an ornate bed in a forest. Laurie is roused by a doctor and sent home after visiting hours end. He tells her Greg will be fine, other kids are here with the same effects, and all seem stable. He warns her about acid parties and her health as he and the nurse light up cigarettes at the reception desk. Laurie finds Gigi in the lobby, who tells her the police have Chappie for questioning, and blames herself for throwing the party.
Don't say that, Gigi. I know who's to blame for this, and tonight I'm going to make sure it never happens again. Listen, I'll see you back at home. Where are you going? I'm going to pay a visit to Guru Stein and make that sleaze wish he'd never been born. But first, I'm going to buy some boots.
Laurie runs to a clothing store.
Go away. Can't you see we're closed?
Please, you have to let me in.
We'll open tomorrow morning. Come back then. These kids just don't want to take no for...
Ah! A trash can smashes in the store window.
I'm really sorry about...
Help! I'm being robbed!
Huh? No, I'm not a criminal. I fully intend to pay you.
My door! You couldn't wait till tomorrow like everybody else?
No, I can't. I really just have to have these. Now.
Laurie grabs a pair of thigh-high boots.
You crazy kids buy up half my store today. Not that I'm complaining. And now this? Gee whiz, must be something in the water.
What was that?
It's just a joke, you know? There must be something in the water, all this crazy spending. Miss?
Oh, sorry. Here you go.
She accessorizes with a pair of happy face earrings and dumps a jar full of money on the counter.
Oh, my. It'll probably take a few days to break them in.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'll break them in tonight.
Soon, the second Silk Spectre is ready for action, leaping across the rooftops in her costume. Greg awakens in total darkness.
The hardest part of this type of thing is always getting the subject, which is you, to understand. I mean, fully understand and, accept.
A spark lights.
I usually would have to waste a lot of time and energy,
And another.
hurting you, just to get you to the point where you accept the truth.
The comedian lights his Zippo.
But that type of thing takes a while to get right, you understand? I don't have that kind of time right now. I need you to believe that there's no way out of the situation you find yourself in. That's why I had you brought down here. To the morgue.
Greg is bound, gagged, and naked on a metal table.
Take a good look around, Greg. No one's coming to help you. See, I hear you like drugs, Greg.
Eddie sets down the lighter next to a syringe of green liquid.
I hear you like to have parties where you pass out drugs to teenage girls. You have really fucked up here, son. You see, Sally Jupiter is a friend of mine. We go way back. So is your old man, for that matter. Just a funny coincidence, that. We were in the shit together back in 44.
He flips on a light and shines it in Greg's face.
Look at me, Greg. You know who I am, don't you? You know there's nothing funny about me, right? You get one chance at this, or I'll choose for you. Since you're such a fan of drugs, I could just give you this. Then I put you in that drawer, and it's problem solved. Or you can take a nice ambulance ride to the Naval Hospital and shave up for a little trip overseas. Either way, you're never gonna see Laurie Jupiter again.
He puts the needle next to Greg's eye, which is rimmed with tears.
Your choice, Greg. The drawer or Da Nang.
An old woman gasps when she finds Hearts lying outside the Sandoz Club, unconscious on a broken planter. Through the open doors, a sign reads, "Private party tonight, invitation only," with diamonds knocked out next to it. Spades lies in a heap on the stairs leading up to a private room.
Oh, wow.
Club stands on crutches with a cast on his leg, chatting with a pretty blonde girl.
I'm like his personal head of security.
Wow.
If you're nice about things, I could probably get you in to see it.
Wow.
Silk Spectre taps him on the shoulder.
Kim.
He soon goes flying through the door into a huge orgy, closely followed by her boot. The chairman and Gurustein sit surrounded by naked people in the midst of ostentatious and deviant acts. Everyone stops and looks at Silk Spectre as she stands in the doorway.
Jesus.
Gurustein rises to meet her. "Well, well, look who made the scene. I heard your little man isn't doing too well. Wasn't able to handle my magic. Is that why you're here, baby? You need more man than you're used to?" She knocks him over with a high kick. Then slams her boot into his crotch. Spectre mounts his back and shoves his face into the floor. Bravo, chickie. What do you do for an encore? The Go-Go Girl guards approach her.
You're my encore, you twisted old buck. If one more of my friends gets sick from that shit you're peddling, I'll come back here and feed you your balls. That's it. I'm gonna split that bitch in two.
Easy, baby. She's made a point, haven't you, chickie?
For now. By the way, asshole, my name isn't Chickie. It's Silk Spectre.
Laurie turns and storms out. I said sit up, damn it. The comedian pulls Greg upright. We're almost done here, Greg. There's one more thing you need to do. What? Rewrite this letter. He hands Greg 2 sheets of paper. You want me to copy that letter in your own hand and sign it?
But this isn't how it is. I can't tell Laurie. No, I can't tell Laurie.
Ah! Eddie slams the boy's head into the metal table. We've been through this, you little asshole. He smashes Greg's face into the door, then shoves it into the darkness. Now write it, or I'll drag you back there and put you in that fucking drawer. Right.
Fucking bastard.
With his head and nose bleeding, Greg takes the pen and begins to write. Laurie sleeps alone in her room, surrounded by art books and fantasy comics, when her unknown father, Edward Blake, appears at her open window. He silently enters and looks her over. Eddie pets Pigpen before setting the cat down and leaving Greg's letter on the dresser by a cigar box Laurie is using to hold her jewelry, on which a new father proudly proclaims, "It's a girl." He picks up a happy face button from the dresser and smiles. Even if she doesn't know it, he's always there if she needs him, and even if he can't show her his own smiling face, at least she always has his adopted symbol in the culture of their times to do it for him. Outside, Eddie lights a cigar of his own, still grinning. And sets off into the night.
Laurie?
Laurie dreams about Greg lying in her lap.
Come on, Laurie, rise and shine. We gotta go rescue our men. Greg? Hospital, sweetie, remember? And Chappie's in jail. We have to get our butts moving. Oh God, that's right. I was hoping it was a bad dream. Just let me get dressed. Right on. I'll make some toast and coffee.
Laurie notices the note.
Huh?
Dear Laurie. Her eyes widen in shock. This ending quote is paired with the image of a flower that has lost nearly all of its petals. Transfusion, transfusion, I'm a real gone pale face, and that's no illusion. I'm never, never, never gonna speed again. Pass the claret to me, Barrett. Nervous Norvus. (1960). A young boy with a baseball cap and mitt rings Sally Jupiter's doorbell.
Ding, ding.
She answers the door in a sheer gown, drink in hand.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Jupiter. Can Laurie come out to play? Now who, pray tell, might you be? I'm Simon. I go to school with Laurie. I see. And you want to play with my Laurie? Yes, ma'am. Ma'am? Ma'am. Well, let me tell you a thing or two, schoolboy Simon. Something all the boys on this street already know. Laurie is trying to play a trick on you. She only pretends to like boys. She'll pretend she's your friend, but when you get to the park, well, you know what she'll do?
Sally leans down and whispers into the shocked boy's ear.
Well, she'll... And then she'll pull down your shorts so everyone can see your underwear. I've seen her do it.
He runs away fast.
Sayonara, Simon.
Young Laurie sadly watches him leave from inside, wearing her own baseball cap and mitt.
1966. Teenage Laurie reads Greg's note again on the Golden Gate Bridge with tears streaming down her face, thick with mascara. Dear Laurie, I'm really sorry, but this has to be goodbye. I know this isn't the best way to do this, but I don't want to fight with you. Back in her room, Laurie crumples into a ball while Gigi finishes reading it to her and holds her. When I woke up in the hospital, I couldn't remember much. The doc said I'm lucky to be alive. But the worst thing is this might have happened to you. I am such an idiot for giving you that stuff. If that happened to you, I would just die. I guess my dad was right all along. I'm a stupid kid and I can't handle responsibility.
I told you!
She passes the cafe she and Greg loved, her happiness now as mythical as the unicorn in the logo. The end of the rainbow. 1964. Sally drags young teen Laurie out of a party where kids are playing spin the bottle.
This is exactly what I told you would happen. They fool you with their good looks and their lies. And just look at yourself now. I've told you over and over. They'll leave you, Laurie. They'll lie to you and take what they want and then leave you. Leave you alone with what?
Laurie only sees her mother as the image of perfect stardom she likes to present to the world.
Responsibility? With a daughter you didn't want? Your faded glory? Oh, you think you know so much. One day you'll see. Now get in the car.
She doesn't understand that her mother is only trying to warn her out of her own experience, to avoid the mistakes that hurt her in the past. Please don't be mad at me, but I have to get away from here. Laurie sadly sees herself as the pirate heroine, waving goodbye to her own dashing paramour. I don't want to hurt you, and I don't want to be some drugged-out loser. I'm going somewhere that my dad says will make a man out of me. Greg stands in line for the army in his shorts. In the best-case scenario, Eddie might have put in a good word for it because he knew his dad, and maybe he wasn't sent directly into the meat grinder. In the worst case, though, he could do the opposite. We'll never know, though, because Greg's part in this story is done. And Laurie will never know that these words come from her father and not her love. I don't know what you'll do, but you should get out of this place, too. You really ought to go home to your mother. She feels like Edvard Munch's famous painting The Scream as her sorrow turns to anger. She'll be really glad to have you home. Even if she is a little bit mad, don't worry. She tears up the letter. You're a tough girl. You're at least as tough as she is. And throws the pieces off of the bridge. Goodbye, Laurie. And good luck. Greg. Inside her, everything collapses into darkness and chaos. Hollis Mason asked questions around town with a picture of Laurie. First at the clothing store she broke into, then the cafe, and finally at the Sandoz Club.
Are you getting this? He's asking questions about the other night. He's looking for that yellow-wearing bitch.
The chairman sees him on the security camera. Could I have a word with the owner?
He isn't in yet, sir, but I'll be happy to tell him you're looking for him when he gets in.
Maybe I'll stop back this evening. Thanks for your help.
If that guy ain't a pig, I'll eat my wig.
This is heat we don't need. Time to clean the house. Hollis runs into Laurie's friends who were also at the party.
You a cop?
Well, yes, but it's complicated. I'm Laurie's uncle. I just need to know if she's okay. They share a worried look. Back home, Sally's phone rings.
I have a collect call from San Francisco. Will you accept the charges? Yes. Mom? Mom, are you there? Well, well, Miss Laurel Jane Jupiter. To what do I owe the honor? Did you run out of money? Did Mr. Wonderful leave you high and dry? Laurie? Laurie, baby, answer me. What is it, Laurie? Are you...
Laurie hangs up the phone.
all right?
Something almost like regret might just be knocking at Sally's door. when the phone rings again. And she snatches it up.
Laurie? Laurie?
What? It's me, Sal. It's Hollis. Look, I'm here in San Francisco. I've got a line on Laurie at where she's staying.
Oh, thank Jesus. She just called and hung up on me. I'm worried sick, Hollis.
I'll tell you, Sal, it's like another world over here. Hollis muses at the hippies outside his phone booth, dancing with flowers and tambourines. These kids are weird. A lot of talk about drugs.
Oh, Hol, just go get her. I haven't heard a thing from that other son of a bitch. Bring her home to me, please.
I will, Sal. Just try to stay calm. I'll call you when I've talked to her. Sally sits in a dejected heap, the phone and her drink both lying useless before her. Dr. Gurustein is visited by the Go-Go Girls, who kick him down and beat him to death with his own scepter. Meanwhile, Gigi and Chappie are walking home with their arms full of bags.
It was freaky. The whole time the cops were grilling me, I couldn't get it out of my head. Dixie cups. I need to stock up on Dixie cups. I had to be sure I bought enough to last. So weird.
Yeah, I know. Like today when I left Laurie to come get you, I just had to pick up all these shades. Even with all this heavy shit that's going on.
I still can't believe all that Greg stuff. Just picking up and splitting without so much as a sayonara. How's Laurie taking it?
Completely bummed. She needed some time alone, so I told her we'd see her at home.
Hi there. My name's Hollis Mason. I'm Laurie's uncle. Can I talk with you a bit? Sally's words cut through Laurie's mind overtop the fantastical images she's formed of her journey.
Listen, sweetie, I'm your mother. I would never steer you wrong.
Her mother, the driving devil.
All those romance comics. You're living in a fantasy world. Men do not come in and sweep you off your feet.
The storybook wedding.
I don't need you being starry-eyed. I need you being focused.
Greg's love made of starshine.
This is why I teach you to take care of yourself.
The pirate swashbuckler.
Trust me, I've known my share of fellas.
The salacious billboard images of Sally Jupiter.
They're all just a bunch of tomcats.
The majestic Catwoman.
And there's not a man among 'em that won't make you want to scream.
The Scream.
First, they'll tell you anything you want to hear. Then, they'll abandon you. You'll just be another castaway.
The Elven Princess.
You'll be completely, utterly alone.
The Empty Lap.
Then what would you do with your life? Well, I really want to be a zookeeper. Or a vet. Oh, honey, I'm not teaching you all this so you can spend the rest of your life with your fist shoved in a dog's ass. But, Mom, pipe down and kick that bag. Screw that old bag. Screw Greg. Screw everybody.
The Go-Go Girls visit the drug maker. They kick him down and beat him to death with his own beakers and test tubes. Meanwhile, Gigi brings Hollis a cup of coffee.
She talks about you all the time. Uncle Hollis this, Uncle Hollis that. You're like her idol or something.
What about her mother? Her home in Los Angeles? Does she talk about that?
Not so much. The whole scene with her mom is a touchy subject.
That woman sounds batshit to me.
You watch your mouth, son. Sally may be a little misguided, but she only wants the best for Laurie.
Is that what you call forcing your daughter to do what you can't do anymore?
In a way, yes. What would you know about Sally Jupiter? What do you know about raising a daughter on your own, taking responsibility for a life?
Oh, here we go.
Don't bother with your story, chappie. I've heard it 1,000,000 times. I take a look around this place and I say live and let live. But you had a responsibility to these girls, and this kid, Greg, who's disappeared. You're supposed to keep them safe.
Hey, man.
Exactly. Man. Be one.
Guys, cool it. We have to keep it together. This whole scene is bad enough without...
They all turn and look at the door.
Huh?
Later, Laurie returns home to find the door open and broken glass on the floor.
Huh? I hear you in there, whoever you are. You better hope...
Hey, kid. Long time no see. Hollis sits in the debris of a fight, lighting a cigarette.
Oh my God! Uncle Hollis? Oh my God, what happened?
Help an old man up, will ya?
What are you doing here? How'd you find me?
Slow down, Angel. Give me a chance here. I came looking for you. I was talking with your friends when a couple of crazy broads barged in and tried to kill us. I held them off while your friends got clear. Gigi and Chappie run out of the back as Hollis grabs one girl's brass knuckles and shoves them both off balance. Get her out of here! He swings her away by the arm as the other readies her gun. But Hollis socks her in the nose and she drops it as he turns to punch the other girl.
What happened to these girls? They got away?
Give your old uncle some credit. He opens the bathroom to show the girls beaten, bound, and gagged.
I knew it.
You recognize these two?
They work for someone I know. Oh
With her smashed guitar, Gigi weeps.
no! Everything! Everything's ruined.
Laurie skulks upstairs. Hollis follows her. Laurie, is everything okay?
I'm fine. I'm just changing.
Look, I know things have been really difficult for you, but I know you'd feel better if you talked to me about it. Okay, Laurie? Laurie? He opens her door to find only Pigpen and her cast-off clothes. Blood drips from a bullet hole in the forehead of Clubs, while the chairman fills a briefcase with money and drugs. It trickles down the face of Spades as he collects his hat. Diamond's skull lies shattered as his glasses by his bullet, near a cigarette still burning. Like all of them, the face of Hearts is frozen in a look of shock, betrayal, confusion, or anger, as Laurie takes this all in. Suddenly, a gun appears at her temple. I had help here in San Francisco just isn't what it is back in New York. But you're good, kid. I'd hire you on the spot if the Shake Sister didn't hate your guts so goddamn much. Just as well. He pistol whips her and grabs her by the hair. Too much work to make a shake out of a rocky road. He yanks her neck down into a kick. Do you have any idea what an operation like this costs to set up? The chairman picks up Silk Spectre over his head. That prick Nixon is right. And throws her into a table. Fuck, you dirty hippie. He rolls up his sleeves and readies his gun. Spectre kicks his gun away.
Fuck you!
That's it, you little coos! He pounces on her, wrapping one hand around her neck. I'm gonna make you wish your father had jerked off in a flower pot instead of making you. At the mention of her uncertain father, Laurie lashes out with her boot, driving the stiletto heel into the chairman's throat. She digs it in deeper as she brings up her other leg and kicks him off of her, the boot heel still stuck in his neck. He runs out into the street in a panic, trying to yank the boot free. Silk Spectre picks up his gun. Laurie heads outside and aims the gun with murder in her eyes. When suddenly the chairman is hit by a passing school bus, splattering against the grill. The first witness happens to be the man with the star cap from the party, and the other passengers crowd around to stare.
Whoa. Well, Anna, that's a whole new way to paint the bus.
Laurie is frozen in shock for a moment. Then she turns and heaves. She returns to Hollis. Hey there. You okay? Is it done with? Laurie tosses away a cigarette as she mounts the stairs, a new habit she's picked up to deal with the stress. Laura? She looks up at him with tears in her eyes and wraps her arms around him as he holds her. Hey, it's gonna be okay, kiddo. You can talk to me. What's on your mind? The next day, Hollis waits by a rented car as Laurie says goodbye to her friend. Time is on my side. Yeah.
For you.
A musician gives her a skull pendant.
Think of the band when you wear it.
For you.
Laurie gives him Pigpen.
Think of me whenever he makes a funny smell.
She gives Gigi back her mod dress.
Oh, gee, this is so beautiful. But I can't. It just, keeps reminding me. I know, baby. Here, I made this. I think you'll like it better. It's way more, you.
And Gigi gives her a sheer silk garment.
Oh, I love it so much. I love you guys so much.
Laurie hugs both Gigi and Chappie, and both women shed a tear for their parting. Laurie somberly gets in the car with Hollis.
On my side, yes,
You'll come running back. You'll come running back. You'll come running back. And looks back at her friends, waving goodbye as he drives them away. Hollis pulls into Sally's driveway. You ready for this?
Just stay close in case she starts throwing things. Laurie, darling!
The instant they walk in, Sally throws her arms around her daughter in relief.
Oh, thank the Lord you're finally home. Don't you know how I've worried? Don't you understand the torment I've gone through? Sorry, Mom. Sorry. Is that all you have to say after everything you put me? Oh, Mom, cut the drama. I beg your pardon, young lady. I will not.
Laurie takes out a cigarette.
And what is this? You're not. Stop right there, Mother. Don't stop, Mother. Stop it all. Stop the acting. Stop talking. Mom, listen. We have all the time in the world to talk about this. And we will. But right now, I want you to know I learned a lot out there on my own. One of the things I learned is that you taught me a lot. I think you'd be proud of me. I missed you, and I love you. It's good to be home, okay?
She hugs Sally.
Oh, Laurie, sweetie, we just have to get out of here. Out of California. There are just too many crazy people. Mom, I need you to hear this, Mom. I can see that you set me down a path where I could maybe do some good. Not save the whole wide world or anything huge, but maybe look out for the people in my world. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it my way. Do you understand? It was a long day. I'm going to take a shower and unpack. See if you starved my bird.
Laurie heads upstairs.
What? Not just 1 second, Missy. What do you mean your way? What?
Quit while you're ahead, Sal. Lamb chirps happily as she enters her room.
Oh, Hollis, I'm serious. I have to get her back to New York. Back with normal people.
Sal, it's gonna be okay. Laurie gives a tired smile. Despite everything, it does feel good to be home.
Before leaving California, my mom and I were going around and around like cats and dogs. I brought 3 different guys home just to piss her off. The last one had a goatee and a peace symbol tattooed on his neck. That really pissed her off. So now we're in New York.
Sally tries to clean Laurie's face with spit and a handkerchief.
Will you sit still? Honestly, you are not touching me with that. Just as well. I am done with men. The whole Greg thing really threw me. Thinking about him still brings me down. So no more guys for me. It's finally time to become the hero Mom has been preparing me to be for, my whole life. Laurie, will you please get serious? You have to be at your best tonight, for you two have been invited. I know. Trust me, Mother, I'm honored the Crime Busters have invited me to this thing. Is that sarcasm I hear? Mom, relax. I'll be fine.
She now wears the skull pendant as a choker along with Gigi's parting gift.
I've been trying to convince Mom that we can use this hero thing to try and make a difference on a political and global scale. I see how hard it is for her. All the eye-rolling and harping aside, she really is trying to meet me halfway. So I agreed to try this Crime Buster thing. For now. Anything to clam her up. She's pretty pissed that I'm not wearing her old getup, though.
While the owl ship floats nearby, Silk Spectre 2 enters the building for the first meeting of the Crime Busters, organized by Nelson Gardner. Laurie joins the other heroes, the last one to arrive.
This is nothing like San Francisco. But at least I won't be stuck living with my mom. You know, like a bird in a gilded cage for like the next 20 years.
For the first time, she meets the people who will shape the rest of her life. Captain Metropolis, who started the Minutemen.
And there's Mom's old buddy, Nelson. Gee whiz, he's like a little old and chubby to still be dressing like that.
Ozymandias, whom she will one day try to kill for the crime of saving the world with mass murder.
Oh, there's that really smart guy Uncle Hollis was telling me about. He's supposed to be very social-minded. I bet he's the kind of guy that thinks the world can be changed for the better without punching and kicking.
The comedian, her unknown father, and the other side of her personality would take half of her life to accept.
Look at that cat, just sitting there, reading the paper and chomping away on a cigar. Some hero. More like somebody's old man.
Rorschach, whom she would feel the deepest personal dislike both for and from out of anyone in the world.
That is one wild, scary-looking dude. He's so creepy. Still, who knows? Maybe there's a really nice guy under that mask. Who am I to judge?
Night Owl, too, whom she would one day love and end up with.
Whoa, look at Bird Boy. Is that the guy that's taking over for Uncle Hal? What is up with the goggles and those ears? Oh, God. I could never go out with a guy like that. Total square.
Janie Slater, who could tell her a thing or two about John's affections over time, and his unique point of view.
Yikes. Something is seriously bugging that lady. Why is she staring at me like that? What the hell did I ever do to her?
And Dr. Manhattan, the relationship with whom would form the bulk of her life, and the relationship which would go on to change the world for everyone else as well.
Oh, wow. Get a load of this guy. He looks like one of those classical Greek statues, but with no hair. Kind of like an Oscar. He's so big and beautiful and blue. I wonder what it would be like to take him home. I bet that would really, really piss off my mom.
They smile at each other. Paired with this ending quote is the image of a flower with all of its petals lying around the stem. Laurie has lost her innocence and begun the long task of becoming an adult. You're the end of the rainbow, my pot of gold, your daddy's little girl to have and hold. A precious gem is what you are, your mommy's bright and shining star. Edward Madden. The end. If you're following the timeline at all, you could pick up Laurie's story in Dr. Manhattan's book at this point, where the next notable thing that happens is that John changes reality for the first time for his own benefit, altering probability so that he and Laurie are paired together, and fracturing all of space-time in the process. But that's all in Manhattan's book, and honestly has little to do with the finished version of this reality. I just wanted to point out the connection. Really, the Laurie in this story joins the Laurie in Watchmen here, and I hope you agree that the characters mesh well. Laurie is perhaps the least defined in the original book because of her resenting her hero career in the modern day, and so the artist had the most to create from whole cloth with this one. Personally, I think they did a fantastic job, and I have no trouble believing this as a series of formative events that give us the woman we see in the main story, as well as being a very compelling coming-of-age story on its own merits. My own mother was Laurie's age and generation, and I still remember how her relationship was with her mother, my grandma. And so this story was a little more personal than usual for me. I recognize these characters like family. Laurie is the most normal and the least interested in superheroics, but she's also the most involved in the superhero world, having those connections to other characters because she was born from two of them and then loved two more. Because of this, she often feels sidelined, like she's more a piece of connective tissue between other stories than having one of her own, and so I loved seeing her get the focus here at least. It gives us a better perspective on her goals and ambitions, which helps us judge her feelings at every point of the story. Some may deride this story for indulging a bit too much in cliches of the period, or the odd luck that the Beatles happened to be visiting the chairman the week that Laurie moved in. But it is only a 4-issue comic trying to carry the spirit of something much larger, and I think that's endemic to that format. Judge for yourself, as always, though. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. There's only 2 more series in before Watchmen to go. Rorschach's Time Alone in the 70s, and a double feature with the life stories of Moloch and Dollar Bill, which is 3 issues total and will be shorter. It's been a long road making these, but it's been very rewarding as well. So everyone, take care out there. And as always, thanks for watching.